to the Dice Tower Spring Spectacular, featuring top 10s, live plays, contests, and more.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Spring Spectacular 2023. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Zee Garcia. Hello.
So we are basically today, this is a short video here, or shortish video, announcing the 15 different Dice Tower Award nominations. And we're going to get into that in a second. But first of all, I'm very pleased to say we're going to be doing the Dice Tower Award winners differently this year. This year, we're going to be doing the Dice Tower Awards at Gen Con itself. We're going to be doing them Thursday night at Gen Con at 7 o'clock in the big hall. If your game has been nominated today, you will have a couple reserved seats there, but we're also inviting the general public to come, and there might be shenanigans and other stuff going on at this. So we're going to do it live. If you win, you'll get to come up and accept your award live.
Yep.
We're really excited about this, and if you're like, oh, I liked watching them streaming, well, Gen Con's going to stream it too, so those of you at home can watch it. So I'm pretty pumped about this.
Yes, absolutely.
But it doesn't mean you have to bring a suit coat to Gen Con.
Can I borrow one of yours?
You already have. No, you have not.
No, I haven't.
Zee's suit coat
own this. Okay?
Zee's suit coat costs more than all my suit coats put together. You don't know that. I used to buy all my suit coats from thrift stores.
Okay, maybe it does.
Anyhow, the Dice Tower Awards. These are, we do them over the course of a year. So these are for the year 2022. We have a committee of people who vote on the nominations each year, and you basically can vote for any game that came out. I mean, with caveats that it has to fit the category. I myself don't vote unless there's a tie, in which case there was not any. So I didn't have anything to do with these other than kind of curating it and putting everything together. So with that being said, we're just going to be taking a look at the 15 different categories, showing you the award nominations, and then in August, you'll find out who won.
That's it.
So, all right. First, we're starting with the best welcoming game. Welcoming games for people who don't play a whole lot of games. These are games, hey, for family and friends. You've not played a game before? Check one of these out, and here are the nominations.
Best Welcoming Game. And the nominees are Acropolis, designed by Jules Massal, published by Gigantic. Boop, designed by Scott Brady, published by Smirk and Laughter Games. Flamecraft, designed by Manny Vega, published by Cardboard Alchemy. Ready, Set, Bet, designed by John D. Clare, published by AEG. Trekking Through History, designed by Charlie Bink, published by Underdog Games.
All right, that is a wonderful slate of games, and I will never get tired of hearing a very serious Chris E say, boop.
We're going to put that on loop. Boop, boop.
That's great. All right, next up, we are taking a look at the best expansions of the year, a wonderful slate of expansions. And of course, if you love a game, what's better than more content for that wonderful game? So let's go ahead and take a look at the nominees.
Best Expansion. And the nominees are Dune Imperium, Immortality, designed by Paul Dennen, published by Direwolf. Dune Imperium, Rise of Ix, designed by Paul Dennen, published by Direwolf. Star Wars Outer Rim, Unfinished Business, designed by Tony Fangi Korikaneska, published by Fantasy Flight Games. Viticulture World, designed by Mihir Shah, Francisco Testini, published by Stonemaier Games. Wingspan Asia, designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, published by Stonemaier Games.
I think that's the first time, I should say I think, I know that, well, maybe I think, I don't know. I think it's the first time that any game has had 2 expansions nominated in the same year.
Same year, yeah.
Well, go for it. All right, it's time to party. Party games. I don't even need to really explain this category. If you're at a party and you pull one of these out, this is the kind of game you might pull out. Let's see our nominations.
Best Party Game. And the nominees are Blood on the Clock Tower, designed by Stephen Medway, published by the Pandemonium Institute. Feed the Kraken, designed by Michael Genet, Dr. Hans-Joachim Huhr, Tobias Imich, published by Funtails. Green Team Wins, designed by Nathan Thornton, published by 25th Century Games. Phantom Inc., designed by Mary Flanagan, Max Seidman, published by Resonin. Ready Set Bet, designed by John D. Clare, published by AEG.
That is 5 very different games.
It is, absolutely, yeah.
We'll find out. I have no idea. All right.
All right, next up, we're taking a look at the best solo game of the year. We've got here games that are not necessarily just for solo, but of course, in this day and age, boy, we've got a lot of games that have solo modes.
Almost every game that comes out every year could be nominated.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of garbage solo variants. There really is.
Yeah, absolutely. But some rise to the top, and whether the multiplayer game is really good or not could show up in there. So we're going to take a look at some of these nominees and see what we think. Roll the tape.
Best Solo Game. And the nominees are Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, designed by Daryl Andrews, Morgan Dontonville, published by Cryptozoic Entertainment. Frostpunk, The Board Game, designed by Adam Kwapinski, published by Glass Cannon Unplugged. Heat, Pedal to the Metal, designed by Asger Harding Granud, Daniel Skjold Pedersen, published by Days of Wonder. Return to Dark Tower, designed by Noah Cohen, Isaac Childress, Rob Davio, Justin D. Jacobson, Brian Neff, published by Restoration Games. Wayfarers of the South Tigris, designed by Shem Phillips, S.J. McDonald, published by Garfield Games.
Let's add 1 player to that. It's up to 2 players. So these are 2-player games. Again, they don't have to be just 2-player games, although many of them are, but they work really well when you have 2 people. So when me and Zee are together, well, we find 2 more players to get 4.
That's right, yeah.
Or Zee goes off and plays a solo.
That's right.
We don't do 2. But these are, if you have 2 people, here are 5 great games.
Best 2-Player Game. And the nominees are Beer and Bread, designed by Scott Alms, published by Capstone Games. Boop, designed by Scott Brady, published by Smirk and Laughter Games. Caesar, Seize Rome in 20 Minutes, designed by Paolo Mori, published by PSC Games. Splendor Duel, designed by Marc-André Bruno Catala, published by Space Cowboys. War of the Ring, the Card Game, designed by Ian Brody, published by Ares Games.
All right.
I think I'm lying. We actually played 1 or 2 of those games. 2-player, just you and me.
That's true.
So, okay, fine.
There's some great games in there. I love two-player games. And talking about two-player games and talking about old games that I love, let's go back in time a little bit and take a look at some reprints. So these are 5 great games that have been reprinted there. They have brand new additions to reach a wider audience, or they've been, given a new coat of paint, reworked a little bit. Games you can play now that have been brought out again. Exciting times. I love it. Let's take a look at these nominees.
Best Reprint. And the nominees are Castles of Mad King Ludwig Collector's Edition, designed by Ted Alspach, published by Bezier Games. Cat in the Box, designed by Muneyuki Yokouchi, published by Bezier Games. Get on Board, New York and London, designed by Sashi, published by Yellow. Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest, designed by Paolo Mori, published by Stonemaier Games. Return to Dark Tower, designed by Noah Cohen, Isaac Childress, Rob Davio, Justin D. Jacobson, Brian Neff, published by Restoration Games.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of those games, Return to Dark Tower, was like an old, from many years ago. Cat in the Box just a few years ago from Japan. Castle Mad King Ludwig, an upgraded one. Just very different kinds of reprints.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, do you like to work together?
I do, actually, Tom.
Cooperative games. So Z would normally be doing this category, but I made it, so I did it. These are games in which you work together. It's what's
Trader, basically. Okay.
I don't think there's.
No, you are betraying me.
That's true. But you know what? This is such a popular genre. When we first talked about putting this award, people were like, well, I don't know that this is going to have enough games. And we never have a problem finding games.
Goodness, yes.
So here are the 5 best, according to our committee.
Best Cooperative Game. And the nominees are CoraQuest, designed by Dan Hughes, Cora Hughes, published by Bright Eye Games. Lands of Galzir, designed by Seppo Kukasjärvi, Sami Laakso, published by Snowdale Games. Nemesis Lockdown, designed by Adam Krapinski, published by Awaken Realms. Return to Dark Tower, designed by Noah Cohen, Isaac Childress, Rob Davio, Justin D. Jacobson, Brian Neff, published by Restoration Games. Star Wars: The Clone Wars, designed by Alexander Orloff, published by Z-Man Games.
Speaking of different kinds of games, while those are all cooperative, boy, that's a lot of very different games.
Well, I think it's one of the first times we've had a cooperative game geared towards kids, families, like CoraQuest.
Intellectual property games, very story-driven games, big epic things,
Nemesis
small
is
things.
the very opposite, so we'll see.
All right. Next up, we're taking a look at small publishers. This is a publisher that has 5 or fewer games published in the year 2022. It would be the cutoff for this. They might have more now. And so they're eligible if they have that many or fewer. Very different selections here as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at these nominees.
Best Game from a Small Publisher. And the nominees are Blood on the Clock Tower, designed by Stephen Medway, published by the Pandemonium Institute. CoraQuest, designed by Dan Hughes, Cora Hughes, published by Bright Eye Games. Flamecraft, designed by Manny Vega, published by Cardboard Alchemy. Planet Unknown, designed by Ryan Lambert, Adam Reberg, published by Adam's Apple Games. Three Sisters, designed by Ben Pinchback, Matt Riddle, published by Motor City Gameworks.
All right, now we jump to new designers. So this award goes to a designer for their first or second published game. And again, that's as of the year 2022. So as of 2022, they had only one or fewer games published before these games came out.
Two or fewer. One or fewer.
No, this would be the second.
Previously, yes. Okay. We can't nominate people who haven't designed any games.
Right. And
So
the reason,
far,
the reason
things
we do,
could change.
The reason we do two is because sometimes someone has designed like a tiny game in the past, and it's not, that doesn't really count. So here we go, the nominees for new designer.
Best game from a new designer. And the nominees are Acropolis, designed by Jules Massal, published by Gigamic. Blood on the Clock Tower, designed by Stephen Medway, published by the Pandemonium Institute. Boop, designed by Scott Brady, published by Smirk and Laughter Games. Cora Quest, designed by Dan Hughes, Cora Hughes, published by Bright Eye Games. Starship Captains, designed by Peter B. Hofgaard, published by CGE.
All right, next up, we're taking a look at Best Theming.
Theme!
I love this category.
Theme!
It's one of my favorite categories. Again, I love it when a game is able to immerse me in its world, take me to a different place because of its intellectual property, just how well everything is integrated in that game. And here we've got a slate of interesting themes, many of them that really speak to me. And again, clearly they will speak to lots of you as well. Let's check out these nominees.
Best Theming. And the nominees are Heat, Pedal to the Metal, designed by Asger Harding-Granur, Daniel Skjold Pedersen, published by Days of Wonder. My Father's Work, designed by T.C. Petty III, published by Renegade Game Studios. Nemesis Lockdown, designed by Adam Krapinski, published by Awaken Realms. Return to Dark Tower, designed by Noah Cohen, Isaac Childress, Rob Davio, Justin D. Jacobson, Brian Neff, published by Restoration Games. Wonderland's War, designed by Tim Eisner, Ben Eisner, Ian Moss, published by Druid City Games.
All right, now we are at the best production value, best components, best bits. Now, a lot of people think this has, like, oh, what game has the best miniatures? And miniatures definitely can get you on this list,
Sure.
But it doesn't mean that you are, right? There's all kinds of really cool productions, and this category gets harder every year because every year games that, used to be amazing in production value 10 years ago are now commonplace. So here we go. Best production value.
Best Production. And the nominees are Endless Winter, designed by Stan Kordonsky, published by Fantasia Games. Flamecraft, designed by Manny Vega, published by Cardboard Alchemy. Foundations of Rome, designed by Emerson Matsuchi, published by Arcane Wonders. Return to Dark Tower, designed by Noah Cohen, Isaac Childress, Rob Davio, Justin D. Jacobson, Brian Neff, published by Restoration Games. Wonderland's War, designed by Tim Eisner, Ben Eisner, Ian Moss, published by Druid City Games.
I love wonderful production value.
I'm glad I'm not voting in that category.
I agree. That's tough. I'm glad you're not voting is what I mean by that, by the way.
Fair enough.
I'll be voting. You know what goes hand in hand with wonderful production values, though? Fantastic artwork. And this year has been, or this past year, has been a wonderful year again for incredible artwork. This is just like the production values, something that keeps getting better, something that, again, a few years ago you would have looked at any one of these and gone, this is stunning. And now we have so many wonderful looking games. Let's check out 5 of them right now.
Best Artwork. And the nominees are Endless Winter, illustrated by Mikhailo Dmitrievsky, published by Fantasia Games. Flamecraft, illustrated by Sandra Tang, published by Cardboard Alchemy. Merchants of the Dark Road, illustrated by Andrew Bosley, Joey Julian, Matt Paquette and Company, published by Elf Creek Games. Trekking Through History, illustrated by Eric Hibbeler, published by Underdog Games. Wonderland's War, illustrated by Manny Tremblay, published by Druid City Games.
Good art. Okay, we're going to now forget about components, forget about art. Now we're just talking about the strategery in games. So you want to play a game and you're just strategy, whatever it might be. I get together, and this is the gamer's game. That's what these are. We didn't want to call it that category because we call it strategy. Strategy game. So you want to show you're smarter than everybody else at the table, or your friend is smarter than you, or whatever it might be. Here are the 5 best strategy games from last year.
Best Strategy Game. And the nominees are Carnegie, designed by Xavier Georges, published by Quinid Games. Endless Winter, designed by Stan Kordonsky, published by Fantasia Games. Planet Unknown, designed by Ryan Lambert, Adam Reberg, published by Adam's Apple Games. Wayfarers of the South Tigris, designed by Shem Phillips, S.J. McDonald, published by Garfield Games. Woodcraft, designed by Ross Arnold, Vladimir Suchy, published by Delicious Games.
So many big brains in those games. A lot of smirts. I couldn't play half of those.
You haven't played half of those.
That's true. Well, I'll get around to it, okay? Sometimes they give me headaches. You know what doesn't give me headaches? Innovative games. Wonderful, new, vibrant creations that make you relive that joy of first getting into this hobby. That make you go, wow, that's different, that's interesting, that's innovative. And here are the nominees for the best innovative game of the year. Let's check it out.
Most Innovative Game. And the nominees are 3,000 Scoundrels, designed by Corey Kineska, published by Unexpected Games. Blood on the Clock Tower, designed by Stephen Medway, published by the Pandemonium Institute. Cat in the Box, designed by Muneyuki Yokouchi, published by Bezier Games. Planet Unknown, designed by Ryan Lambert, Adam Reberg, published by Adam's Apple Games. Turing Machine, designed by Fabien Riel, Johan Luvy, published by Scorpion Mask.
And finally, the last one. This is Game of the Year. There's no criteria or anything. We just ask the committee, pick your favorite games of the year. So whatever they might be. But because I want a diverse group of nominees, because Game of the Year could be anything, many of the games you've seen so far are on this list, we have 10. 10 instead of 5. So 10 different best Game of the Year nominees, and I think you can check out any of these. What are they? Here we go.
Game of the Year. And the nominees are Blood on the Clock Tower, designed by Stephen Medway, published by the Pandemonium Institute. Endless Winter, designed by Stan Kordonsky, published by Fantasia Games. Flamecraft, designed by Manny Vega, published by Cardboard Alchemy. Foundations of Rome, designed by Emerson Matsuchi, published by Arcane Wonders. Heat, Pedal to the Metal, designed by Asger Harding Granud, Daniel Skjold Pedersen, published by Days of Wonder. Planet Unknown, designed by Ryan Lambert, Adam Reberg, published by Adam's Apple Games. Ready, Set, Bet, designed by John D. Clare, published by AEG. Return to Dark Tower, designed by Noah Cohen, Isaac Childress, Rob Davio, Justin D. Jacobson, Brian Neff, published by Restoration Games. Wayfarers of the South Tigris, designed by Shem Phillips, S.J. McDonald, published by Garfield Games. Wonderland's War, designed by Tim Eisner, Ben Eisner, Ian Moss, published by Druid City Games.
Alrighty.
That's the spread. Quite the spread.
That's that. So, folks, before we head out today, a couple clarifications here. I saw some questions in the chat. People ask who's on the committee. It's about 100 plus people, various reviewers. A lot of reviewers that you watch, not just Dice Tower reviewers, but people all across the reviewing hemisphere. Sphere is
probably better.
Sphere better.
Hemisphere is cutting out half of them.
So a lot of, like, if you are a reviewer and you review lots of different games and things, hey, email me and you get on the committee. And then the Dice Tower staff, lots of different people involved in Dice Tower in various ways. And there's nothing that there's people, sometimes a company will email me like, how do we get nominated for a Dice Tower award? And my answer is always the same, put out a good game. We don't take solicitations for the games, nothing. When we do the games, we just get together and say, what are good games that came out last year? There's nothing. You don't have to send a copy to all the committee members or anything. It just, we pick what we pick. And sometimes multiple games, the same game will show up in multiple categories because, well, the game's good. What do you want us to say? And sometimes games get missed out because there was like 200 copies printed.
Yeah.
And they're just not that widespread, and that's just how it works. So we're going to be spending the next couple months playing these games and then voting on them. And then, like I said, at Gen Con, on the Thursday of Gen Con in August, come on out. You can go, once they open up events, which is soon, you can sign up to come to that. We might have a surprise or two for you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you'll get to see the awards and who wins them there. So that's going to open up Gen Con, basically.
Yeah.
And we're very excited about that. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Zee Garcia.
Have fun playing these amazing games. Oh, and come back later on. Spring Spectacular. More stuff. We're doing a live play at 10 o'clock. 30 minutes. Come back.
There we go.
We keep going.
Yes.
Welcome to the Dice Tower Spring Spectacular, featuring top 10s, live plays, contests, and more.